Hey everyone, Patrick Lee Scott here. I just got back from a 7-day cruise. It was a mastermind that Russell Brunson ran, and it was pretty awesome. We had we had beach days and we were at sea, and obviously there's all like the cruise stuff. The food was amazing, so all that was good. But on top of that, we also had masterminds, not every day, but most of the days, including a midnight mastermind by Russell Brunson. And in it, we talked about kind of how people learn. And something that was interesting, it reminded me of a client that I had once. Have you ever had a client and you feel like you just give them like a Ferrari and like the keys are in it and they're just like sitting in the driveway and they're not driving that car for some reason? Well, why is that? Like how could it be that you give someone something so valuable and that they don't appreciate the value of it? And it turns out that there's a reason for that, which is you need to tell people how you either earned that knowledge or learned that knowledge and the experiences that you've gone through to get that knowledge. And if you don't do that, then it's lost on them, right? You can't just give them the tactics and expect them to understand how you got there, right? You need to communicate to them the process that you went through in order to understand that thing, because otherwise it's lost on them. So I've had clients in the past where I feel like I've done that, where I've been like, here's like the coolest thing in the world, and they're like, I don't get it, and it's because I failed to communicate the process in which I went through to learn that thing. And beyond that, there's another layer between the story of how you've acquired that knowledge and what the actual tactics are. Before the tactics matter, the strategy needs to be told before that. So if you've ever had that problem where you're like, like this thing is amazing, like how come you're not getting it? Well, it's because that you didn't communicate it well. And stories are the key to that. So I just thought that was one of my biggest takeaways from the event, was just the importance of wrapping any lessons learned inside of a story. Because without it, it just seems like pretentious or something, So that was cool. Another really great talk was from Mark Stern on authority, and if you're trying to get your message out, like what you need to do so, and how being visible and consistent is like so important, because without the visibility, then whatever awesome thing you're doing, like it doesn't really matter if no one can see you. So those were, I'd say, probably the most important lessons for me. I mean, there was a lot of cool stuff from Jim Edwards. I learned some really cool ways to come up with like hooks and how to draw people into stories. So like some cool copywriting tips. And it's just been a while since I've been on here, so I just wanted to, and I was teasing the mastermind. I don't know if you saw me the other night standing in my pajamas at 1 a.m. with like a big group of people all waiting to go in. And then I just kind of, I was on vacation. It's been a long time and it was long overdue. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm back in Florida now. I'm staying at my aunt's house and chilling in the hot tub right now. So I have a course starting this week on Tuesday, my Cloud Native Entrepreneur course. It's going to be 12 weeks where we're teaching all of the students how to build business and marketing systems by actually engineering them. It's going to be super cool. We're actually going to just, build a whole full stack application. We're going to build the marketing funnels. We're going to deploy them to production. We're going to set up development systems and things like pull requests with preview environments on every pull request. And just another really important thing is like helping people understand that a product is not an entire business. Something that I really believe now, and this is from making these mistakes myself, like I had a failed startup when I was younger where I spent way too long and way too much money building a product that nobody cared about. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of engineers make, is like being so product focused. Right? I believe that what you really, instead of thinking of a product that you want to sell, that's the wrong question. Instead, you should think of number one question is, who do you want to serve? Because, as a business, you're serving customers. And unless you know who you actually want to serve, who you want to you'd be happy to get out of bed to help, you're going to have a really tough time, because, you're going to be in a position where you just don't really enjoy working with the people that you have to work with. And then the number two thing after you decide who you want to serve is, it's what result do you want to get them? And products are just a byproduct of that process. ClickFunnels, for example, which is Russell Brunson's company, he taught marketers about funnels and how to build funnels for something like 7 or 8 years before his software product ever existed. In the process of helping other marketers get the results that he wanted to get them, they were struggling with that part. A lot of them aren't technical, so they can't just pull up React and build something like we can. So as a byproduct of helping those marketers get that result, he created a software product to accelerate that process. So products are a byproduct of choosing a who and a result and helping them get it. So that's another really cool, I think that's one of the most fundamental things in business, because it drives your marketing decisions, it drives your whole value ladder. And I know that's some techno babble there. So the value ladder is the idea that well, let me take a step backwards. A few years ago, I was working for a billionaire, this guy named Seth Marin, and he told me that the most valuable thing you can do is sell more to your current customers. So, if you think about any solution, every single solution that exists creates new problems. Again, since we're talking about Russell, a funnel. If you have a funnel, which is a revenue generating system, you have a new problem now, which is you need to get people to it, right? So the solution of a funnel creates the problem that you need traffic. And as an entrepreneur, this is a golden opportunity. Problems are a blessing, right? And every solution creates new problems. So you can help people obtain one solution and then help them with the problems that solution creates. They don't exist in a bubble. So anyway, we're going to be covering a ton of this stuff and way more in detail starting on Tuesday. And I actually made last week, the week before, I went live on a webinar and I talked for literally 2 hours and 45 minutes. And I took out 3 of the top lessons from my course that's coming up, and I put them into this free training. So I'm going to be taking that offline tomorrow night at midnight, And like, why would I do that? Well, to be honest, it wasn't perfect, so I'll be doing it again in the future. I want to clean up some slides, I want to improve it, right? So the first time I did it was just, I needed to get feedback, I needed to see how it went, I needed to see how people responded to it. And so, you know, it will happen again, but if you do want to see that replay, if you want to check it out, if you want to learn how to take your ideas and turn them into money-making machines, and also that those things are real things that actually exist, and also if you want to learn how you can sell people things without picking up the phone or having to convince anyone of anything, or if you're interested in how I personally made $7,649 in a single weekend testing a new idea before making any products, all of those things are covered in depth in this training. So I'll post a link below. Again, it's going to be gone tomorrow night at midnight, so if you want to check it out, make sure you schedule a few hours tomorrow and like bring a notebook and like take some notes, because I cover more that's even in the slides. Some of the live viewers said that there were concepts that they'd literally never heard before, and like that's the point. That's why I wanted to share these things, because there were concepts that I had never heard before too, and they've just been so fundamentally like game-changing to me. So I'll post that link below. Make sure you check it out. And the class starts on Tuesday, so tomorrow is your last day to get this content and to sign up if you haven't. We have 20 engineers from all over the world, from companies that you've most definitely heard of, but I don't know if they'd want me saying. So we got my buddy Matt Walters is taking it. He's a microservice expert. We're going to be learning. We'll be building the whole foot stack, like front end, microservices to support it, and deploying it all to Kubernetes, setting up your development process and setting up production. So it's going to be really awesome, and I'm super excited for it. That's all I have for today. I have a bunch of stuff I need to prepare for them, so I'm going to get to doing that, and I will talk to you all later. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.